buffalo, the black leader of the savanna. Amid the scorching winds of the savanna, where bloodthirsty creatures battle for survival, emerges a ruler without a crown, yet full of authority. It needs no hiding place, nor does it know fear. Even the king of beasts must tread carefully before such ferocious power. That is the Cape buffalo, the creature known by a spine-chilling name, the Black Death. But behind that ferocity, it is also an indispensable link of the savanna, a creature that is both prey and a fearsome force, capable of striking terror even into its predators. An adult Cape buffalo weighs between 500 and 900 kilograms, with large males exceeding a ton. Standing up to 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder and stretching over 3 meters in length, it truly is the living tank of the savanna. Its most fearsome feature is the massive pair of horns. They curve outward to the sides and then meet again to form a solid bone shield in the middle of the forehead, known as the boss. This horn shield can be up to 10 centimeters thick, hard as stone, acting as a natural helmet that helps the Cape buffalo withstand lethal bites from lions. A single charge is enough to break the bones of its enemy. And it is those very horns that serve as the decisive weapons in deadly battles within the herd. Under the midday sun, two males draw close. Their breath hisses, muscles ripple, then suddenly they hurl themselves at each other, horns clashing with a thunderous crack. Dust and rubble fly into the air, each strike as heavy as a sledgehammer. Only when one gives way does the battle end. The victor rises as leader, while the defeated is cast to the margins. Such battles are not only struggles for position, they maintain balance, selecting the strongest individuals to lead the herd through drought and lurking dangers. Cape buffalo live in herds, ranging from a few dozen to hundreds of individuals. It is precisely this collective strength that has enabled them to survive on the harsh savanna. Within the herd, unity is unbreakable. When predators strike, the herd does not scatter in panic, but instead rallies together, forming a living fortress to protect the calves. Cape buffalo feed on grass and shrubs, helping to control the vegetation of the savanna. They open up pathways for other animals to reach the tender, fresh pastures. At the same time, they are an important food source for lions. Yet few creatures are both prey and capable of killing their own predator like the Cape buffalo. On the grasslands, a pride of lions lurks. They close in on the buffalo herd, bloodthirsty eyes locked firmly on their prey. They burst out in a flash, grass and dust flying thick in the air. But the buffalo retaliate with ferocity, horns thrusting skyward. The lions are forced to retreat, leaving behind a humiliating defeat on the scorched plains. Not only dangerous to predators, the Cape buffalo is also notoriously unpredictable to humans. It has caused more casualties than any other large African animal, earning it the grim name of the Black Death. In African hunting culture, the Cape buffalo is one of the big five, alongside the lion, the leopard, the elephant, and the rhinoceros. They are not only formidable prey, but also a symbol of untamed strength. The Cape buffalo, the steel-horned giant, a terror to its enemies, yet also a pillar that upholds the ecological rhythm of the entire savanna. The existence of the Cape buffalo reminds us that true strength lies not only in the fangs and claws of predators, but also in the unity of a herd that seems destined only to graze. And perhaps what makes the Cape buffalo a legend is precisely this paradox. Both prey and executioner, both vulnerable and indomitable. A question arises for us all. In the wild, who truly is the ruler? The honey badger, a warrior that fears no opponent. Welcome to a land where every definition of danger is overturned. This is Africa, where lions roar and cheetahs sprint. But today, we are searching for a creature that simply does not care about any of it. Hidden within the Kenyan savanna, a legend endures. A creature small in stature, yet forged with a heart of steel. one that other predators recognize and choose to turn away from. This is the honey badger. You can call it a wild rogue, a walking ball of fury, or simply the honey badger. But it is best not to call it at all, because once it has made up its mind, all you can do is stand back and watch. The honey badger, less than a meter in length, barely 10 kilograms in weight. It looks harmless? Completely wrong. With black fur and a silver-white stripe running along its back, it wears a bold mark that says one thing only: it simply does not care. But its ultimate weapon is not its claws or its teeth. It is its skin, thick, tough, and almost loose. So difficult to pierce that most predators are forced to give up. More importantly, even when bitten, it can twist its body and strike back at its attacker. Imagine holding an empty leather bag packed with muscle and pure rage. A leopard bites down. The honey badger twists around and bites back. The fight becomes meaningless for its opponent. The honey badger is the only animal that seems to defy the very laws of physics. Most animals would die almost instantly after a snake bite. But the honey badger is different. It possesses near total immunity to venom. Bitten? No problem. And then it eats the very snake that just attacked it. This is revenge, African style. Scientists believe the honey badger's immunity comes from specialized proteins within its body that can neutralize neurotoxins. This very mechanism allows it to survive bites that would be fatal to most other animals. Across the dry, scorching land, the honey badger follows a scent trail to an ostrich nest. It moves low, slow, and deliberate, waiting for the moment the female ostrich leaves. Guided by sharp survival instincts, the honey badger understands that even the smallest window is enough to reach a rich source of energy. As the surroundings fall silent, the honey badger moves in at once. Using a mix of dexterity and unexpected strength, it rolls an egg out of the nest, careful not to cause too much disturbance. For this species, every successful attempt is proof of intelligence and an ability to exploit even the briefest opportunity in a fiercely competitive world. The honey badger is an omnivore. And it is this bold, uncompromising approach to foraging that has made it infamous. From scorpions and ostrich eggs to honey, venomous snakes, and even tortoises, there are virtually no limits to its diet. Every meal stands as proof of its ability to seize any opportunity for survival in a relentlessly competitive environment. The honey badger shares a remarkably unusual partnership with the honey guide bird. The honey guide cannot break into the hardened structure of a beehive on its own, and that is where it calls upon this stubborn collaborator. It is a perfect alliance. One provides the tools, the other shows the way. When it is not eating snakes or tearing open beehives, it hunts. And in the strangest moments, it rolls, thrashes, and rips through the sand, leaving its prey confused and unable to understand what is happening. It is this very chaos that creates an opening for the killing blow, an attack strategy built entirely on unpredictability. The honey badger is a solitary wanderer, constantly on the move. It does not build a permanent den, instead, digging a new burrow each night. Freedom is its instinct, and even tortoises with their hardened shells can become a meal along this chaotic journey. Why is the honey badger considered unstoppable? Because it never gives up and it knows no fear. When it decides to eat, any prey becomes a feast. When it chooses to move on, nothing has the power to stand in its way. The lion is the ruler of the savanna, while the honey badger is nothing more than a small black and white speck. Yet it never retreats. It charges forward, snarling in defiance, until even the king of beasts grows frustrated and turns away. This is the power of an unbreakable spirit, not of muscle. As the lion lowers its head and steps forward, the air tightens with every heartbeat. The honey badger responds by squaring up, its small eyes burning with unmistakable defiance. It does not retreat, but moves straight into the space between them. That sheer audacity forces the lion to hesitate, creating a rare moment of confrontation between absolute power and an unyielding will. In the animal world, the honey badger has no true natural enemies. Larger predators may sometimes kill it, but they rarely eat it. Perhaps even predators know better than to invite that kind of trouble. We often admire the strength of the tiger and the grace of the leopard, but the honey badger teaches us a different lesson. Never let size define your strength. The honey badger's ability to adapt is almost limitless. It withstands snake venom, bee stings, desert heat, and the claws of predators. When threatened, it lunges and growls, forcing even much larger opponents to hesitate. The honey badger is not the king of the plains, but a rebel. It needs no throne and follows no rules. All it requires is chaos to survive. And within that chaos, it is the freest creature of all. The honey badger survives by breaking every pattern. While other species rely on order to endure, it chooses a path apart. With no fixed territory and no group to depend on, it is guided only by audacity. That way of life has shaped a creature bound by no limits whatsoever. As the land trembles under the struggles of the powerful, the honey badger slips through the cracks of that very order. It exploits every shift, turning chaos into advantage. Without needing superior strength, it still commands caution, simply because no one can predict its next move. In a land where power is usually measured by muscle and fangs, the honey badger possesses something even more enduring, an unbreakable spirit. And within the chaos of nature, it becomes a symbol of absolute freedom, small in size, yet impossible to defeat. Oryx, the warrior of the Namib Desert. The winds of the Namib Desert howl like an invisible army, lifting blazing red grains of sand into the sky. In the midst of that blinding sandstorm, proud silhouettes emerge, their horns rising like swords piercing the burning sun. Oryx the gemsbok, symbol of strength, pride, and the will to survive in the harshest extremes. Its horns stretch up to 1.20 meters, straight and sharp like the spears of ancient warriors. They are not only a symbol of beauty, but also weapons strong enough to pierce the flesh of enemies, even bringing down a full-grown lion. When the sunlight glimmers on the dunes, the two horns blend into one, forming a legendary vision. Many ancient tribes believed that the oryx was the origin of the unicorn legend, a creature of pride and mystery. When the dry season reaches its peak, Not only water, but even the scarce patches of green grass become battlefields. The males step out from the herd, their bodies tense like drawn bows, horns lowered in readiness for the fight. The clash of horns echoes through the stillness. Each strike is a challenge. Blood spatters onto the red sand, yet neither steps back. The victor earns the right to lead the herd and guard the territory. The defeated must leave, wandering through the burning sea of sand, carrying the scars of failure and the weight of solitude. In the arid ecosystem of the Namib Desert, the oryx is a silent guide. Its footsteps open the way for other herbivores, leading them to rare patches of grass. The oryx keeps the cycle of life unbroken amid the endless sea of sand. By day, herds of oryx usually shelter beneath the sparse shade of thorny trees, conserving energy and avoiding the scorching heat. Only in the early morning and late afternoon do they move with strength, their eyes ever watchful for dangers lurking from afar. Beneath the dazzling sun, a herd of oryx grazes. In the distance, a lion hides in the dry grass, drawing closer step by silenced. A sudden eruption. The herd of oryx bolts away, hooves tearing through the golden sand as red dust rises in a choking cloud. The lions surge forward, the gap between predator and prey shrinking with every second. But the most merciless enemy of the oryx is not the lion, but the Namib Desert itself. The scorching daytime heat, the searing dry winds, and the endless lack of water push them to the very edge of survival. The frail calves often cannot withstand the harsh trials. Only a united herd, under the protection of the adults, has the chance to guide the new generation safely across the burning sea of sand. Each day of survival is a victory, and that victory is paid for with strength, intelligence, and survival instincts honed through thousands of years of evolution. Twilight stains the Namib sands red as the herd of oryx stands tall, their horns raised like spears guarding life. A majestic yet solitary image, like a warning sent to all humankind. The oryx is not just an antelope. It is the spirit of the desert, a symbol of resilience, teaching us lessons of adaptation and pride. To protect the oryx is to protect the fragile cycle of life in this harsh land, where survival and death are separated by nothing more than a single hot wind. In nature, no victory is ever permanent. Strength will eventually fade, but the mark of pride and the power of adaptation will remain, etched deep into the endless cycle of life. Camel, the living treasure of the desert. Amid the vast sea of sand, where the heat can scorch life itself, there exists a creature of extraordinary strength. It not only survives, but has become the true ruler of the desert. That is the camel, the legendary carrier, a symbol of endurance, strength, and an extraordinary resilience matched by few other creatures. An adult male can reach up to 2.5 meters in height, equal to a small power pole, and weigh more than 700 kilograms, heavier than a car. The camel's large eyes are like being equipped with natural sunglasses, with 2 rows of long, thick lashes, and a transparent third eyelid that allows them to see clearly even when sandstorms rage. The world of camels is not limited to a single kind. They are divided into 2 main types, the one-humped camel and the two-humped camel. The one-humped camel, also known as the dromedary, is common in North Africa and the Middle East. The two-humped camel, the Bactrian, is adapted to the cold regions of Central Asia, such as Mongolia and China. Their broad feet prevent them from sinking into the sand, a perfect design of nature. But the greatest wonder, the very thing that makes the camel truly a desert warrior, is the mysterious hump on its back. Do you think it holds water? Completely wrong! The hump is a massive fat reserve, an endless source of energy that helps them survive days of hunger and thirst. When food runs out, this fat slowly transforms into energy and water, allowing the camel to survive remarkably for weeks, even months, without any other source of nourishment. This is the desert's very own mobile power plant. The camel's ability to endure thirst is truly astonishing. They can withstand the loss of up to 25% of their body's water and still survive, something most other animals could never manage. They can drink over 100 liters of water in just a few minutes, swiftly making up for days of burning thirst. That is why they are called the living carriages of the desert. The camel's body possesses an extremely efficient automatic cooling system, allowing it to regulate its temperature from 34 to 41 degrees Celsius. This ability minimizes water loss through sweat, an adaptation that few mammals have ever achieved. Inside, the camel's blood also hides a secret. Their red blood cells are oval rather than round. This unique design allows blood to flow smoothly even when the body is severely dehydrated, ensuring they always stand firm in the harshest conditions. Camels usually live in herds, moving in small groups under the leadership of a dominant male. They are highly social creatures, closely bonded with one another on their journey in search of sustenance. Do not be deceived by their gentle appearance. When provoked, camels can turn into angry beasts, delivering powerful kicks and unleashing an extremely unpleasant spitting spray to warn off their enemies. Did you know that it was thanks to camels that one of the greatest trade routes in history came into being, the legendary Silk Road? For thousands of years, they have been indispensable companions, carrying goods and people across endless stretches of sand connecting civilizations. Not only a means of transport, camels also provide milk, meat, and even wool for clothing and tents. They are truly the lifeline of desert dwellers. In many cultures, especially in the Middle East, North Africa, and Central Asia, Camels are honored as the living treasures of the desert, symbolizing wealth, strength, and the power of survival. Even in the modern world, camels still hold an important place. Camel races take place with great excitement, attracting thousands of spectators, proving that these animals are not only tied to labor, but also carry spiritual value, forming an indispensable part of cultural heritage. Each step of the camel is not only a journey in search of life, but also a powerful reminder of the strength of endurance, resilience, and determination that we can all learn from this legendary desert warrior.